welcome back to another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome. My name is Caleb. He is Mark, coming to you from Olde English Trail in Florence, South Carolina, as always on a pretty rainy, cold Sunday. How are you doing?
Feeling like January.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been pretty lucky with the weather, kind of up until this week. It's been a cold week. We had a good Saturday, but yeah, it's definitely the middle of winter. So
yeah, it's like up until this week, play had been up a lot.
Yeah.
This year, and again, it's all weather based.
Mm-hmm.
Weekends have been busy, and yesterday was busy. And then today, it's like, this is what you get this time of year.
Yeah. There's actually kind of a possibility of this turning into snow a little bit later on. I think it's actually snowing over in the Panhandle, so I don't know exactly how that works.
Yikes.
But yeah, it gives us an opportunity to kind of talk about some stuff going on and kind of some stuff we've got going on for the rest of winter.
We're still doing the. In summers when we have daylight, we do the Tuesday night scramble, 9-hole scramble. We've moved it to Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. We get a really good response. We've had a couple of mornings that have been a little bitter, that it was a little slower, but I think yesterday we had 6 teams for a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, like I said, the guys can play the 9 holes and then they have a busy day, they can go. It looks like most of them are sticking around and, playing the North again or the South 5.
Yeah.
So they're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think especially this time of the year, it's nice for some guys to kind of have something scheduled. It's their excuse to go out and at least get one round in a week. And yeah, it's nice for us when, some Saturday mornings it's been pretty frosty and frigid. It's nice to have a bunch of teams signed up already. So
yeah, it's kind of funny because they get lunch in that too. Mm-hmm. So basically they're getting a free lunch and a drink. And one of the fellows stopped me after they were getting ready to go back out after the 9 and said, "Who makes your coleslaw?" He said, "That's the best thing I've ever had in my life." And that's not the first time someone said that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we make sure they get good food so they can enjoy it too. We enjoy that, being a part of it.
Yeah, that's been fun to do, and we'd kind of talked about the possibility of trying to, now that we've got the South 5, possibly trying to start the Tuesday night a little bit earlier. We in the past we haven't been able to do the Tuesday night scramble until the time changes, but since we have the South 5, that's something we're looking at starting a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if we can get the sunset back to 6, that gets us to about 6:15.
Yeah.
We can start at 5 and we can be out there and off the golf course.
Yeah.
So that would jumpstart the whole Tuesday night thing, which people seem to really enjoy that. It's like with a golfer, it's that one time I can get golf on my schedule for sure because, hey, this is what I do on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge success, and it's just fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, something that I'm actually something I've actually wanted to do for quite a while is something we've been talking about starting it pretty soon here. Is I've always kind of had the idea of I want to do kind of like a Friday night type thing, and I think that would actually work really well on the South 5, starting that semi soon, but kind of being able to do it throughout the year. It's just kind of a very relaxed, casual kind of Friday night social kind of golf event where it's not really a scramble, it's not really a defined format that we're playing, just kind of an excuse to get out and play a different style of golf.
And the one unique requirement for that
you have to walk. yeah that's to me, because to me that's the kind of golf that I like to play, just kind of very relaxed, a bunch of people being able to walk together and play, and if you want to make a game of it with 2 other people or play a match against one other person, just have it be very laid back, just
right.
kind of thing to go out and get a little bit of golf in for an hour and a half on a Friday night.
Trying to win somebody's money or any of that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like you can't carry a 6-pack.
You could try, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm sure people do, but yeah, it's a whole different environment.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few walkers now,
Yeah.
which we're pleased with.
Yeah.
It's like I know golfers golf courses tend to shun away from that because we need to rent our golf carts. They're sitting in the cart barn.
Yeah.
But no, we've actually had a targeted effort to encourage people to walk. And I've had a couple people in the last month or two share with me, it's like they started walking a little bit, and it's like, wow, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And it is. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason that I like to walk so much, and I think I've talked about it in the past, is, I like to see golf courses, and I think that you can see a golf course from just the enjoyment side of it so much more when you walk, but I think that also kind of ties into playing too. It kind of lets you think about your next shot a little bit more instead of just going cart to cart, just hopping out and hitting your shot, and I think it's just kind of it's the form of golf I enjoy the most.
And I've shared before, there was a transition issue for me when I was playing and started playing mini tours. I'd never ridden in a golf cart before. I mean, I was 20, 21. I mean, if you played golf, you didn't think of riding in a cart. That was for the old guys.
Yeah.
You didn't ride. That wasn't golf.
Right.
And of course, that was 50 years ago. So things have changed since then. But then when I started playing the mini tours, one of the requirements so the golf course could actually make some money on the event, you had to ride in a cart. And it was challenging. It was completely different. And it's like I struggled for quite a while, focusing and, transitioning to that process because it actually is different. It's like if you're walking, you've got, whether it's 100 or 250 or 300 yards, to think about what's going on in your next shot.
Right.
In fact, it gives you that little bit of time to be upset about the last one and get over it.
Yeah.
And in a cart, you're still mad when you're standing over the next shot. And it's like, what did I just do?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something we're going to have some more details of soon. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And it's the kind of thing where if it's 6 people or 16 or 36, it's all going to be kind of the same thing, and we'll just kind of figure out the night of what the format's going to be, how we're going to play it. It might be a bunch of us walking in one group or split up into a couple groups, and it's just going to be a very kind of laid back thing.
Right.
And I think kind of the best part of it is it's going to be $10. So It's going to be 5 holes of walking. You'll get a drink on the first tee, or you can grab it in the clubhouse before you go, and we'll head off and hopefully have some fun. So
yeah, and relax. It's like if you can show up, you show up. If you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
And nobody's upset. You don't have to call a week in advance and say, okay, I'm going to be there, and then deal with, oh, gee, how do I get there kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I like that approach a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, to me, it's kind of, it's something that I think, if your, wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband doesn't play and they want to come out and just walk with us, that's totally fine too. It's just going to be very kind of laid back. If anyone
you're going to have people showing up with caddies.
bring your dog if you want. It's the kind of thing that someone that I've followed for a long time with the Random Golf Club, that they do a lot of events like that where it's just kind of one big group, and
right.
I don't think it's going to be 150 of us out there. When they do those videos, it looks a little too chaotic to me. So we might try to have groups smaller than that, but it's kind of that same vibe, I guess, that we want to do.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
So
in fact, I've been kind of pushing you to kind of get that out there. But again, this time of year it's challenging because of the weather, and you never know, and you don't want to do something 1 week and then it's 3 weeks before you can do it again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think introducing it, I think it'll be a big deal. In fact, I've already mentioned to a couple of guys, we look forward to it.
Well, and I'm excited about it because it's an opportunity for me to play golf every week. I don't really get to do that, so. Yeah.
And discussing golf carts, you can talk about one of the things we're looking at doing.
Yeah, that's, we've had the carts now, the club car carts, for almost 3 years, kind of coming right up to that. And something we're looking at is actually kind of upgrading. I think these carts were an upgrade from what we had in the past.
Big upgrade.
Big upgrade as far as, I think they're a lot more comfortable. I think they're a lot better to ride in and stuff like that. But now what we're kind of looking at is, with the age of these carts, they've gotten a little louder and a little noisier and stuff like that, is going to a much quieter cart, looking at kind of the different battery options that Club Car has. I think that's, it's nice for us because we can always know where people are because we can hear the carts coming from a couple holes away. But it kind of, I wouldn't say totally ruins it when you're out there, but it is nice when you just kind of can hear the course. You can kind of hear the nature. You don't just hear, a bunch of carts riding around all the time. So that's something we're looking at. And, with kind of that upgrade to the carts, there's obviously an upgrading cost to that. But one thing that we're considering adding is looking at some of the technology that can come with those carts. It's not something you have to get with it, but trying to figure out if it makes sense for us as far as having, they've got the 10-inch touchscreen in there with the, connectivity where you can see your yardage and everything built into it.
Or you could watch the podcast while you're playing.
I don't know if you can do that. You might be able to figure out how to hack it, but I'm not going to tell people how to do that. But yeah, that's something we're considering.
See, I agree that's a step forward. Hopefully, we can work that out. But I've got to be honest. I still love the sound of the old gas cart. It takes me back to the old 3-wheel Harley Davidson gases that took off and sputtered and spit. It's just like good memories. But yeah, it's. Club Car has a really nice golf cart right now, and with the battery option, it would change the environment obviously, and I think the experience as well.
Right.
And plus, evaluating, does the technology they offer in the cart, does that bring the value we need it to bring to us? It's like, obviously, I've said before, I don't think it increases play. It improves the experience, which that was neat. But do people actually go to a golf course because they have technology? That's questionable.
Yeah, I don't think anyone chooses which golf course to play based on what kind of cart they have. I don't think that's the case. But I think it is the case that when you get to a course and they do have that is it. It's a way to make the round easier. And the way I think about things is it's less signage that we have to put out on the course. It's kind of my strategy with course signage is trying to create a very kind of clean landscape and, only do signage where we absolutely need it and stuff like that. But that does take away things like, having the hole layout if it's your first time and, ways to kind of direct people around the course. Yeah, and that's why, we've done stuff like we've had the course guide online and stuff. But yeah, if it's right in front of you the whole time and automatically updates, that's something that I think is a plus, and we don't have to go put the big marble monoliths back out there that we were able to get rid of. So, so yeah, it's weighing, like I said with just upgrading the carts, it's weighing the cost of it because they don't give you the technology for free. That's something you pay for every month. Right,
and that's one of the we're discussing now is that might give us an opportunity to start being more involved with other businesses in the community, of partnering with their opportunity to be exposed to, 20,000 rounds or actually 500,000 views online, if not more.
Yeah.
So there's some opportunities. And it's like I've always said, whether it's civic groups, churches, businesses, we always want to interact with the community. That's one of our goals.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something we've talked about. If we want to look into partners to, businesses to partner with for advertisement on the podcast, which is the reason we've stayed away from that is because it's hard to say, oh, you want to advertise on the podcast that we do every couple months, maybe. So, but no, that's definitely something we've looked at, and maybe if someone's throwing us a little bit of change, that would motivate us to have to do it.
Motivates a lot.
Yeah. So no, we're always looking for opportunities, to connect with the community, and any funds that come in through partnerships like that, it's just going to go back into the course. That's where everything goes. It goes back into improving the course.
Right. And one of the reasons it prompted us in that direction is we've had inquiries in the past
Right.
about, hey, you know, the more traditional stuff with scorecard we stay away from, or,
Right.
you know, we obviously got rid of the monuments on
Yeah.
each hole that look suspiciously like 1982.
Yeah.
And I still see them on golf courses and pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've transitioned to something different, and it's just a part of our process. We tend to do some unique things. It's like now we're the North 9 and the South 5,
Yeah.
and you know, I know you don't hear it not being in the golf shop a lot, but we've had a great response.
Oh, I only hear the response online.
Yeah, yeah, we've had a couple of people. It's like, what is wrong with you? But you know what? Those aren't typically the people that play golf here, so it's kind of odd.
Usually the first thing I do is I put someone's name into our system, and they either have never played golf here or they played golf once 5 years ago. That's kind of typically what we find. But
Because no, it's like, I know we're adding members. They're excited about the options of the different things they can do and the time frame they can play it in, plus the excitement about actually having a practice location
Right.
where you're on a real golf hole that you can simulate shots that you're going to have during your round, learning to improve your playing,
Right.
not just golf ball striking.
Yeah.
Which I'll say it again, it's like, if I was still playing a lot of golf, that's where I would be all the time, because that's where your game's going to improve.
Well, and something that I almost did this the other night, actually, when I was closing up. I want to do kind of a longer video out on the practice area, kind of explaining to people and letting them see it a little bit more. But I got my shoes on and then realized it's really, really cold, and I don't want to go out there and it's getting dark. So that's something that when the weather gets a little bit better, I do want to do to kind of, show people.
Right.
You can explain it to them as much as you want, but until you can show them or get them out there and they understand, I was explaining it to someone the other day, and they kind of made the, offhanded remark, trying to understand it of, well, you can just play the hole over and over again. It's like, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but that's not really the idea. It's like, yeah, you can work on your tee shots and just have a bunch of balls lined up and pick a spot, hit a bunch from there, pick another spot, hit a bunch from there. It's a different form of practicing.
Yeah, you even have a place up there where you can practice hitting an out-of-bounds shot if you want.
Yeah, there's a lot of places up there to,
But yeah, it's, you'll notice that I've placed 10 different marker flags around the hole, back in the fairway, different spots, sand trap, to kind of recommend hit a few shots from here.
Right.
And hit a few shots. It's actually getting the opportunity to play into a green,
right,
and learn how to play golf.
Right.
To me, that's the difference. And, I've told people, it's like, no, don't drop 20 balls and hit them from a spot. It's not a driving range. And the interesting thing is, once they realize that, it's like, oh, they understand, but they've never had that opportunity before.
Right.
Other than the people that we've had to go out on the golf course and say, hey, you can't take 9 divots from the 150 marker. That's not what the golf course is for.
Right.
So, well, in fact, it's one of our members came in a few days ago, and we were in a frost delay because number 1 and number 2 are always in the shade, and they turn loose last.
Yeah.
So he headed up and spent an hour practicing on number 14.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, what a great situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they thought about that when they were designing the course of 1, 2, 10, and 11 always take the longest to get out of the frost. Maybe the trees were different, 30 years ago or something like that. But yeah, it's the rest of the course is always clear, which is frustrating. But no, yeah, I think I've been trying to push myself, and it's easier this time of year with a little bit less, a little bit less daylight, and I wouldn't say less to do, but to try to put more videos out and more information about, because we've made a lot of changes just in this month, and I think trying to communicate that as much as possible and show people where we're going, the direction we're going, the kind of vision that we have for this place is important. So
yeah, especially it's like introducing the 9 and 5 as like a foreign language for most people. It's like they've never even thought of that before.
Right.
So it's right now it's educating of, okay, here's what that means for you. And if you don't like it, okay, that's fine. We're trying to make a successful golf community here, and we're doing what we think is best for that to happen,
Right.
to give opportunities for golfers to participate in golf. It's that simple. We're not doing anything based on a motive that it's like, oh, we want to destroy your life. That's not what's
a weird
happening.
business approach. But
Yeah, it's like, no, we're actually trying to be successful here.
Yeah.
That's why we're working so hard.
Yeah.
That's why one of the things that, we're highlighting for the spring is, taking some sod and doing some patchwork on the historical bad spots on the greens.
Yeah.
And our discussion is, which you know better than I, that it's not just putting sod on those spots,
Right.
because if you look at pictures from forever, those have been the spots that have been bad forever.
Right.
So what are the issues we have to deal with while we're putting sod down?
Right.
Because we don't want to put fresh sod in and, 3 months later, it's right back to where it was.
Well, and I think something that's kind of been a frustration for me is, we've done a lot of the outside work, outside of the green itself, kind of the surrounding area. We've
Right.
done a lot of that work, but haven't also been able to go in and kind of then fix the spots on the green, or we've fixed spots on green but haven't done all the outside work. This will kind of allow us to do both at the same time and actually fix everything.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. It's not just a temporary patch, but actually being able to fix all the kind of underlying issues and fix the actual putting surface at the same time.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Plus, when you work on a green, you're actually talking about the most expensive process on a golf course.
Yep.
That's where a lot of the money goes. So anytime you're doing something, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So that has to be factored in. So if you come into the shop and we raise the price $1 and you fall on the ground kicking and screaming because we raised it $1, it's like, yeah, sorry, that's just what's happening.
Yeah. I think we've been very reasonable with our pricing increases, and we probably to our detriment, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's just kind of the reality of it. That's and like you said, it's spots on greens that have been bad for forever. If you don't believe me, pull up the Google Earth and look back 20 years. I mean, it's the same spots.
Right.
It's underlying issues that were either here when the course was built or happened immediately after. My guess is kind of when the course was built.
Right.
That's something we discovered last winter in digging out the drain of number
Right.
one. Is there's a lot of underlying issues that happened a long time ago. So yeah, that's something that I'm excited for spring to come. I was actually just doing some kind of, I was a little under the weather this week, so I finally had a chance to kind of clear off my hard drive, and I was seeing pictures from 3 and 4 years ago.
Right.
And for like a brief moment, I saw the picture of the course in the middle of the summer. I was like, oh, it'd be nice if everything was green right now. And I thought, nope, there's way too much to do. There's way too much to do for everything to be green. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into spring, but we have a lot of work that needs to be done
And
before
the other
that.
big news is you're going to Orlando to the PGA Golf Show.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually something I wanted to talk about, and kind of talking about the members practice area. You putting out kind of the marker flags and stuff. I wanted to talk about, I have a lot of meetings lined up already, and there's some companies that I'm excited to go to their booth and see what they offer as far as stuff like that. The not just, go swing new clubs and look at the new balls and polos and stuff, but actual amenities that we can add and stuff.
Right.
Because there's a lot of companies doing a lot of really, really cool things right now. But yeah, I'm going to be in Orlando for the week. And yeah, I've got a busy day on Wednesday. My schedule is pretty full, so I'm excited to get
That's
to
tough.
talk
You're
to
going to be in
everyone.
Orlando. Let me think, what will I be doing? Oh, that's right. I'll be in the shop all week.
Hey, there's a 40% chance of rain on Thursday, so that might be a bit of a bummer. I think it's going to be a high of like 72, so I'll have to bring a hoodie or two.
Yeah. And that's not just looking at how we can develop the practice area up there, but also we're keeping our fingers crossed that we're going to be able to tackle the actual range this year as well to make some improvements. We've talked about it before. The goal is to get some lights out there so we can extend, even if it's just a Friday and Saturday night, where you can hit balls till, I don't know, 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
To me as a golfer, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and obviously the main reason for doing that is so people can practice later, but it also allows us to try to do other kind of events and stuff up here in the clubhouse and create more activities, more of kind of the social side of things. So that's definitely something that I'm going to be looking at down there as well. So yeah, and it'll be a good, we've got some great partners that we've dealt with basically the whole time we've been here. It'll be nice to see people again and talk to them and see what's going on with them. So
absolutely,
so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
And it's like I'm really enjoying watching new members come in the door because they're excited about what's happening and they want to be a part of it. And it's like, I think people are seeing that it's like, hey, if you like golf, if you love golf, we are in that together, and that's why we're here, and we want that to happen. So, yeah, that's pretty cool to watch. And again, you're outside a lot, so you don't get to see it a lot. But yeah, the response is just, it's actually been enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, moving forward, maybe we should do more podcasts to keep people updated. Just a thought.
I feel like that was thrown at me unnecessarily. Yeah, that's it. We had planned on doing one this past week, or at least I had planned on, and then I got a little bit sick, so I stayed home a few days while you were here. But yeah, no, we'll definitely be. I think with this one we'll be at a quarter of the way to the amount that we did last year. So we're starting out strong. Middle of June might be a little harder.
Hopefully, we're not a sprinter running a marathon.
Yeah. So, but no, it's good to be able to sit down and kind of talk through all this stuff. Talk about the membership and the changes, and something maybe I just thought about. I think we talked about it a little bit, but it did to me. I was kind of questioning it, like, is it weird to kind of have a membership push in January? And it's like I was thinking about it more and more. It's like, no, actually, I think that's the perfect time to do it, because that's when you should really be working on your game and you should be practicing more than anything. So by the time spring comes around and the weather gets nicer, it's like you have a bit of confidence. It's like it's not a coincidence that all the equipment companies put their new drivers out at the beginning of January.
Right.
It's like they do that on purpose.
Right.
It's like you would think they would try to get it before Christmas. It's like, no, they want to do it when people have the least amount of time so they can get excited about spring coming and everything happening in golf on this scale and on professional golf scale. So you have any thoughts about Brooks? Anything you want to share?
Brooks who?
That's kind of what I figured.
No, it's like, it's hilarious. Oh my gosh, the LIV Tour is going to be devastated because they lost an average golfer that was living on his reputation. It's like, good luck to him. I would love to see him go back and win. That's fine. But it's like, if you really think a whole tour is based on one player, it shouldn't exist anyways.
I think that's actually a lot of people's argument for LIV, is that it shouldn't exist anyways.
Well, it's just, I think people forget that it's truly an international tour.
Right.
And the reason it gets beat up in the United States, because guess what tours in the United States? It's just that simple. It's like, these guys play all over the world, and they draw people all over the world, and it's like, good for them. It's like, I'm sorry, the whole argument of being mocked for saying you're growing the game when they're actually growing the game, and the PGA Tour started contracting a little bit. I just kind of see that as being a little odd.
Yeah, I guess I just don't understand why. I mean, I guess I kind of do understand why there is so much just hatred towards Live. And to me, it's just I don't really care either way. It's like if they want to start a new league, if they want to go start a third league, that's fine. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, it's all of the arguments of, well, it's we have to have the best players in the world playing on this one tour, and it's all mixed. I don't care. I really don't care.
Have you ever heard Major League Baseball badmouth Japanese baseball?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you really think you're that much better, then why do you care? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. It's kind of like, I'm not like a diehard Live Tour fan.
Yeah.
But it's like, PGA, just shut up and play golf.
Yeah.
To me, it's that simple. It's like, if it's such a pathetic thing, like you said, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, let them spend all their money and go bankrupt.
Yeah.
But I don't think you go bankrupt with $1 trillion.
It's a good place to start. We should have considered that. But yeah, I figured that was going to be your response, but I thought I might bring it. I mean, it's the first.
You had to upset me at the end of the podcast.
It's the first time someone's come back, in a major way. So I thought it was worth mentioning.
Which was never going to happen. We weren't going to let them back. Yeah. But here's our restriction list, and it just so happens only 3 players fall within that restriction.
Yeah, it's all a little.
But if I'm going to watch an event, unless it's a major, I'm probably going to watch the Live Tour.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watch golf. I watch maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes of the Sony Open yesterday, and that's about it. I'll tune back in as it gets closer to the players and stuff like that,
right.
And I'll see highlights online, and that's about my level of care for professional golf.
Yeah, and it's like the Live Tour I'll watch because I want to see where they're at.
Yeah.
It's a different part of the world.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, they're in Phoenix this year. Somebody's going to tear their shirt off, and they're going to throw beer cups. Isn't that exciting? Oh, my goodness.
I started this. I have no one to blame except myself.
Yeah, it'll be edited anyways. Who cares?
All right. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap.
Good luck to Brooks coming back. I hope he wins another U.S. Open, actually.
There's the clip for the podcast. There we go. No, I'm gonna like we said, I'm gonna be at the PGA Show in Orlando this week. So if you watch this and you happen to be there I'll be mostly there on Wednesday. If you want to look out for me, I'll be walking around and
he's going to be grinding so hard. He's going to be there Wednesday, and then I think Tuesday he'll probably be at Disney, Thursday at Universal. So, gosh, good luck. I hope you can hold up.
No, we're not going to Universal. We're just going to Disney. No, but it'll be a good week, and I'm sure you'll have fun here. You get to dog sit for the week, so you're gonna have a blast.
Oh my!
All right, we're gonna wrap things up. Thanks for watching another episode of I Hate Golf. It's awesome, and we will see you next time.